What's up everybody, welcome to this video. My name is Harshan. In this video I'm going to teach you all about the JavaScript closures. And this is one of the complicated topic in the JavaScript, like most of the developers are actually thinking. So this is one of the scariest part in the JavaScript. No guys, it's not like that. It's pretty much simple topic. So in this video I'm going to teach you exactly what is all about the JavaScript closures in a simpler way. Before moving any further, I want to tell you two things. The very first thing is I actually worked in many projects in the JavaScript and React. To be frankly, I haven't used the project. Very rarely we are actually using the JavaScript closures in our actual projects. And the second thing is, this is actually the most important like concept when you go to JavaScript interviews or React interviews. So that's the reason, just try to learn at least one single example related to JavaScript closure. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. So without further ado, let's jump right into the actual video. As you guys can see here, I actually wrote something over here. So closure is the ability to access the outer level scope from inner level scope. Here we have the two scopes or two functions, like outer level scope and inner level scope. So even after parent even after parent function has been terminated, what actually mean by this? The inner level scope is trying to access the outer level scope. So even the parent function or outer function has been terminated. It looks a little bit weird, right? So let's go ahead and see something. So in the image, so you can easily understand that. This is the outer function. You can see this is a gray color. This is the outer function and this is the inner function. The inner function is trying to access the outer function variable. You can see this is a variable. So the inner function is trying to access the outer function variable here. So even though the outer function stops, so that is called closure. Hope you make sense. Let me tell once again. So this is the outer function. This is the inner function. In the outer function there is a variable. So the inner function is trying to access that variable. So even though the outer function stops, that's it. Let me close this one. Yeah, I hope you understand. So let me write some code here and I'm going to try to explain you. So first I'm going to take a function here. So this is the outer function, and inside the outer function I'm going to take some variable. This is the outer value. So inside this I'm going to take another function. So that should be the inner. So inside that I'm going to take an inner variable. This is the inner value. Okay. So now what I'm actually going to do, I'm trying to console these two variables so inside this inner function. Okay, so I'm trying to console here and I'm also trying to console here. Okay, alright. So now I'm going to invoke this function, so this inner function, and also try to invoke this outer function. So what actually happening here? Okay, so let me refresh this. Yeah, as you guys can see here, so this is actually working. So on the page load, so when just when I just try to call this function, so this is the outer function, so I'm just calling this outer function on the page load. So once the outer function is calling, so immediately the inner function will call. So this is actually not a closure. It seems to look like the closure, but it is not a closure. How can you make this one into the closure? So the first thing is, here we need to just try to return this function. This is actually a closure. Okay, so there is a function. Inside the function there is another function. We are actually trying to return from that function. So over here, okay, so you can just do like this, and you can also return at the top. So here also you can return. Okay, so now I'm trying to do something. So const inner. Okay, and I'm trying to call this inner function. Let me save this. You can see it is working pretty much fine. Okay, so here let me explain you how actually it is working. Okay, so this is the outer function and this is the inner function. So I'm actually calling this outer function over here, and I'm actually calling this inner function right over here. So you can see this is the variable. So this variable is actually outside of this function. This is the inner function. Here you can see I am trying to call this outer function inside this inner function. Still it is trying to access over here. So that is actually the how actually the closure work. You can see here. So this is one particular scope and this is one particular scope. Every one has its own individual scopes actually. So even though it has the individual scopes, but this scope actually trying to access this scope variable. So that is all about the closure, guys. So you don't need to think too much about that. That's pretty much it. Okay, so let me comment this one. I'm going to explain you another example here. I'll wrote some example over here. So let me uncomment it. So same things happen here. There are two functions. This is the outer function and this is the inner function. I'm actually calling the outer function and just passing one parameter over here. So to this x, it is taking the argument. Okay, and I'm trying to call this inner function. This add I'm passing to over here. Okay, yeah, that is all about closure. You can see the closure is the ability to access the outer level scope from the inner level scope. You can see. So this is the outer level scope and we are trying to access that outer level scope thing in the inner level scope. So even though the outer level or the parent function has been terminated, so even though this function, this parent function or the outer function has been terminated, still we can access the outer function variables in the inner function. That is all about the closure, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any kind of questions, just leave in the comment section. I will definitely answer you. If you just find something interesting, please like this video. I hope you understand. I will see you guys in the next video.